Let me just actually do this really quick. This is a really important thing because in a funny way, it loops with the whole lifestyle policing of Mike Bloomberg.
Oh my God.
I don't support punitive taxes on the poor in any way. But of course, I believe there's other policies you need to do to clean up agriculture, as an example.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this is a piece from the Daily Beast. One of Amy Klobuchar's biggest backers is the worst company in the world. That's the literal headline. I can't stand big money in Klobuchar. In politics, Klobuchar said in an exchange about the outside influence of the super rich in government. I didn't come from money. And I just don't think that people look at the guy in the White House can say, can I get someone richer? I don't think that they think that. Now, it goes on to say that Cargill is one of her largest contributors and backers in her career and in her Senate races.
It's a sort of a shadowy, privately owned family giant corporation in agriculture and that sort of stuff. Big in Minnesota.
Even among Minnesota politicians, Klobuchar ranks amongst Cargill's favorites. The senator is the top recipient from Cargill's PAC and employees this cycle, receiving 5 times almost as much as the conglomerate's next favorite member of Congress, and has been one of the company's top recipients most of her career. The relationship has been mutually advantageous on issues ranging from greenhouse gas emission regulations to labels for genetically modified food to sodium in school lunches. Klobuchar has voted in line with Cargill's extensive lobbying agenda. Klobuchar has also gone out of her way to cite Cargill as, quote, a private sector leader in environmental issues, despite a long record of fines for environmental violations and accusations that it has profited from the use of child slave labor in West Africa.
Oh, geez.
She sourced staff from Cargill. In 2015, she hired a former Cargill lobbyist who eventually rose to become her legislative director. And so this is just something to bear in mind. In 2011, Klobuchar wrote a letter to the Secretary of Agriculture, Tom Vilsack, urging the Obama administration to continue counting tomato paste as a vegetable in school lunches, and to reconsider the quantity and proposed timeline of a plan to cut sodium consumption in school lunches. This was a big thing in the 80s. Reagan saying that ketchup could count as a vegetable was a personification of Reagan's war on the poor and total disregard for poor students' health. Well, Amy's still fighting that in 2011 and for getting them to have more sodium. This is a big deal. And people in urban areas, I think, need to think much more seriously about ag. It affects the entire food supply, and family farmers are getting destroyed across this country. And it also is enormously environmentally harmful. Here's a couple of criticisms of Cargill, who's, again, Amy Klobuchar is one of their main go-to senators. This is just let's just read the top lines of Wikipedia. Environmental damage. Palm oil production in Indonesia and Papua New Guinea. Controversy around what is that?
The Santarem port and Amazon deforestation. Broken wastewater pipeline in Australia.
I could see why she hasn't called for freeing Lula. Building restorable wetlands. Release of 65 million gallons of acidic water into Tampa Bay.
Then we reach our second subhead: human rights abuses, forced child labor in Cote d'Ivoire, Uzbek cotton, Dayton, Virginia employees contamination.
Contamination is the third area. Mercury poisoning in Iraq. Beef recall in the United States. Cargill, Australia exports.
Jesus.
This is, and now actually,
it's like a Koch brothers that flies under the radar, basically. Another private family company.
Exactly. Now
Minnesota.
Now let's play this Warren clip. Because again, this is another thing. We're just judging by work here, folks. Elizabeth Warren is joining on a utterly disingenuous smear that Pete Buttigieg concocted that our revolution Which, whatever, we can get, again, I don't care about the minutia of how we define PACs. The reality, and this is why I don't like conversations that focus on the technicalities of things like PACs or money. If a PAC, if a contribution comes from a labor union that is fighting for real things, if it comes from a organization that is grassroots funded, I don't care. Good. Thank God. We need those things to fight back against capital. I don't care about the process. You've just learned about Cargill and Klobuchar, and to be clear, this is very much a pace with her presidential run. This is not just in her record as a senator and all of a sudden she's run for president. She's, of course, not taking their contributions. This is Elizabeth Warren. Again, just look at the work she's doing now.
And the only way we can take on corruption in Washington is if we're not beholden to it. Let's just check the facts. Amy and I are the only candidates in this race who are not either billionaires or supported by super PACs. And unlike other candidates, I don't fund my campaign by spending time behind closed doors sucking up to wealthy donors.
All right, whatever. We know all the talking points. So I will take our revolution over Cargill.
The Sunrise Movement.
I will take the
seriously.
Sunrise Movement over private equity, over Cargill. I mean, this is, whatever. I won't go off on it. I'll just say, look at the work that's being done.
I think you can also, I would just say, lies are many different things, including omission and emphasis.
Indeed.
I saw people speculating that her and Klobuchar might pull some kind of last minute stunt, like that Cruz Fiorina running mate stunt they did last time around to
That
try
would
to
be
get more
perfectly
attention.
aligned with the New York Times op-ed board saying vote for both of them.
Mm-hmm.
So, we'll see if this is a winning strategy or not.
But like, god damn, look at who you're aligning yourself with, Liz.
But, I mean, yeah. And goddamn, people think a little bit more deeply and don't listen to a gaslight campaign for months. Going to a Warren town hall tonight. What should I ask her? If she performs poorly in Nevada, will she drop out and endorse Bernie? Okay.
Ask her about her
too
powwow
angry
chow
to-
recipe.
Yeah, ask her, could you refresh her on the powwow chow recipe? Would you recommend that supporters who feel personally offended by a Will Menaker joke vote against healthcare? Could she formalize that Twitter jokes are more important than major policy issues? Jamie, I feel you. OMG, that James Carville impression with the House pick is insane. People don't want to hear that shit.
That was
They
Michael
wanna
doing
hear-
the James Carville impression, by the way, not Jamie.
No, I think
No,
she
I'm
feels
joking.
Jamie. Oh, right. She feels Jamie on the Warren yada yada yada.
She took on Wall Street.
Kinda. I mean, look.
As bourgeois politicians go, I thought she was pretty good.
I mean, look.
It's true, actually, and it shows how far that gets you.
I guess my thing too is like, Chris Murphy is pretty good as far as bourgeois politician. Like that's the other part of my problem is like, if we sure, like there's a couple dozen people in Congress that are decent-ish. I don't, but I wasn't gonna go, oh wow, they're actually to the left of Bernie Sanders. Like, come on.
Like,
Yeah,
also,
yeah.
like, I deeply want there to be a woman who I would like to vote for
Of
president.
course. Fair enough.
Sorry.
Apology not accepted. We don't have time for that nonsense.
At least you apologize.
At least you apologize. Welcome back to the Bernie Sanders social media terrorism clinic.
Now we got 5,000 accounts to harass by Nevada.
Here's the
Getting the replies, folks.
I have only seen 100 responses to Sam Stein.
Okay,
We're not
focusing
meeting
too
on
much-
metrics.
Focusing too much on the media professionals. Go after the actual voters of Warren. They're idiots.
They're idiots. They're stupid. And remember, Trotsky thought making fun of people's personal appearance could be revolutionary.